Today I'm going to head out on the R1 Crossplane, and there's something about that engine, I don't know how to explain it. Jimmy Durante used to say, and he was right, it's kind of hard to put it in words. Today it looks like the weather's going to be just perfect again. We are starting off on a great riding season. The weather's really been cooperating lately. Hope you've enjoyed sharing the rides with us. We got to get the bikes moving around. We got to take care of the farm. But then basically once everything's done, we got the rest of the day to ride. So until I inherit some money or hit the lottery or whatever, and I can afford a bigger garage, I basically have to start off every day moving things around, shuffling bikes around. Seems like the one you want to ride is always in the back. I don't know how that happens mathematically. Sometimes you would think it would be in the front, but almost never. Anyway, I always like to look at when I have bikes out in the driveway together. Here you got a 41-year-old bike and a 14-year-old bike, and dramatically different. They are different riding experience, and it's hard to say, and according to your age, of course, or your preference, which one is better and which one is this or that, or which one's more comfortable. Oh, I can tell you this for sure, they're both great bikes. And I'm happy to have all the bikes I have in my collection. And the restricting factor on getting any more bikes, of course, is always where do you put them? And it's difficult moving things around as it is. Anyway, I always check the tires. That's a for sure thing on every bike, especially the R1. R1 has note, this is the first year they had the Crossplane. And the Crossplane, for some reason, this was the first year they did not have traction control or ABS. The next year after this, they did, the 10s. But so it makes this bike a little more exciting than it's like a roller coaster without the guardrails or a seatbelt. So it's good for your arm muscles, though. And the fish agree. I always seem to, when I feed the fish in the morning, just get in the mood to go for a ride. But I'm sure once I do the little perp walk with Karen, and we see if there's anything to harvest, she wants to bring fresh flowers into the house from time to time. We have a pretty nice routine, but once it's all done, what I really like is I pretty much have the rest of the day, a nice big chunk of the day, in fact, today, get out on the open road and burn some fuel and listen to that Crossplane. Or after 14 years of owning this bike, you think it'd get to the point where, you'll kind of get bored with it or whatever. Trust me on one thing, this bike is never boring. Every ride I go on is just as exciting as the one before, and it seems like they get more exciting every day. And in 14 years of owning this bike, I have had a lot of great memories, a lot of great rides with my friends, a lot of great rides alone, and every one of them just as exciting as could be. This is just an exciting bike to ride. Now, if you go to YouTube and just look up the word Crossplane, there are some wonderful videos explaining why these engines were developed. They use them in modern cars too, but the Crossplane, the technology, I'll leave it to the experts to describe what it is. I just enjoy it. And I remember reading how Valentino Rossi had a lot to do with developing the Crossplane over the years. And I have that in one of the history books that Ray loaned me. Thank you, Ray. And again, who cares who developed it? It's just fun riding it and whacking that throttle open.
And to me, the sound of a bike, the sound as you're riding it, that from the driver's seat, the pilot's seat, whatever you want to call it, that sound on a crossplane is totally different than like an FZR is or any inline four-cylinder bike. Very, very unique sound, and boy, do I like it. And there was a time that I had made my own exhaust canisters, carbon fiber for this. They were a little bit too loud to ride up in this populated area. I left them on for I think 4 or 5 years, but I eventually put the stock mufflers back on to ride in this area where I ride. Now people ask, what does a crossplane sound like? Well, to me what it sounds like is two Ducatis side by side. Before they came out with the V4, now that they came out with the V4, the sound isn't a whole lot different. It's basically the same technology, uneven firing. I think this was the first year Yamaha had drive-by-wire, and this bike does have drive modes for the rain, and a standard mode, and a ride like you would, a mode you would only use on a track day. And in 2 of those 3 modes, the bike is very prone to wheeling in lower gears, very prone. Now, one thing I really appreciate is the way the crossplane delivers the low-end torque. On hard acceleration, you can feel the front end getting lighter and lighter. You can modulate the throttle. And absolutely, the one thing it's great on, the throttle control and throttle response. Now, one thing is for sure, after 14 years, I have not grown bored with any part of it. And what makes it even more special, having that radar detector, it just saves your bacon virtually every time you ride. It puts money in your bank account. And one thing I've come to appreciate, it's taken me years to get the ergonomics, the right set of bars. I had 3 different sets of clip-ons, at least 4 or 5 sets of rental bars, and finally got it just for my ergonomics that I'm comfortable for the whole ride. And it was important to me. And if you are so blessed that at 77 years old you're still riding a full R1, I don't know, maybe I'm blessed, maybe I'm not, I don't know. I'm going to be 78 very soon. And some people ask me, how do you attribute that you can still ride at 77 years old, ride 3-4 hours a day? Well, the trick is ride every day. And when you're not riding, work on the bikes and polish them and clean them and paint the wheels and whatever. Passion for motorcycling. And I think motorcycling is one of the best ways to keep busy, keep active, get exercise, get fresh air, and work out some of your frustrations from time to time, and just keep you as young as possible. And from the day that I bought this bike brand new and brought it home to right now today, I have never been disappointed in this bike. It is one of the really plus factors in my passion for all motorcycling. Ready to go to work on a farm? Got time to do the farm. Oh.
This is the best time of the day. Back from a ride, time to farm. Just another beautiful day, beautiful ride. Boy, this is 14 years, 35,000 miles. It just couldn't be any better than this. And the only issue we've ever had with this bike was the starter went bad. I'll settle for that any day of the week. Anyway, this is a cross plane. It was the first one, as far as I know, that Yamaha was the first to the market with it. I don't know. It is a wonderful engine if you've never ridden one. It's just got a beautiful torquey delivery. I love it.
Now, if you're new to the channel, congratulations. I hope you've stumbled on something that's of interest to you. We do custom work on the motorcycles, almost always in the winter or in inclement weather. And we try to get out every possible day, even through some of the really cold winter or the hot summer. Get out on the open road, meet up with some of our friends at the meetups, different places that we hang out. And every one of the days that I get to ride, I count as just a very, very special blessing. In my case, it seems like it's doing a good job of keeping me alive. And thanks so much for watching.